Welcome to Ho Wayne's Football Theory. A surprise package from Manchester United. Solskjaer makes Sir Alex Ferguson-like substitution. Lampard named his starting 11 according to the players' values, which let down his Chelsea team. The tempo of the match between Manchester United and Chelsea is relatively slow. The reason why the match type is low-tempo conversion with conservative attitude is because although Manchester United's pressing is slightly better than Chelsea's, but both pressing is not offensive enough, this makes the players at the back have sufficient time playing the ball around the defensive half. Both teams' pressing only allows the opponent has a slight delay in playing the ball upfield, but the press can't lead to the interchanging of attack and defense. That is why there is not enough counter-attacking plays. When there is not enough counter-attack plays, the match tempo cannot be speed up. In other words, both teams have plenty of time in facing a dense defense. This makes Chelsea, which has a 3 at the back formation, even more difficult to play the match. Actually, I fully agree with Chelsea changing to a 3 at the back formation today. Chelsea's defensive line has always been poor. Lampard has the need to add an extra defensive unit in their backline to compensate their weakness. Every time Chelsea played 4 at the back against Manchester United, there won't be any good results, and today, with the 5 at the back formation, the defensive line is more structured. Therefore, it is reasonable for Lampard to make this 3 at the back formation. However, Lampard did not have any idea in maintaining the speed of Chelsea's full court press nor attacking pace, making his team unable to increase the tempo of the football match. Therefore, explains why the tempo of the match is this slow. Chelsea has more time to face Manchester United's dense defense, then they would have to face the dense defense with a 3 at the back formation. Unfortunately, due to the extra unit in defense, it will definitely lead to the problems of a lack of midfield players in connecting their plays and lack of attacking units. In addition, the Chelsea team today does not have any ability to a transformation system. There's time where I can observe Chelsea attacking Manchester United's backline. They would like to make a transformation system into a 4-2-3-1 formation, but R. James's level of changing into a right-hand side attacking player is far from the expected level. His ability to attack is poor, his skill is lacking, and his passing abilities are short. In addition, Chelsea's captain Aspi can't always go up the field and join the attack, as Lampard has to use the right-hand side wing-back R. James as a transformation method, then it has to pair up with a right-side defender that has the ability to get into the goal line, then that will make it a successful transformation. When the right-sided defender can't overlap or underlap, that means he is staying at the back for majority of the time and playing as a central defense all the time. This will not enhance the power of penetrating the dense. That's why it will lead to 3 players at the back facing a dense defense. Arsenal's Tierney, Manchester United, Shaw, or even West Ham United's Cresswell, all 3 of their transformation abilities are much better than veteran captain of Chelsea Aspi. That is why in today's match, Chelsea showed their lack of transformation abilities while facing Manchester United's dense defense. This leads to the football theory of 3 centre-backs cannot reach the penetrating dense ability of 2 centre-backs. The only way to solve this problem is the attacking players must have the ability and the stamina to do high press and maintain a fast-pace attacking speed, hence pushing the match's type to a high-speed back and forth. That's the only way for Chelsea to avoid Manchester United's dense defense. Hence there is no need to face the disadvantages of 3 centre-backs cannot reach the penetrating dense ability of 2 centre-backs. Shamefully, Lampard played Havertz in a head-to-head matchup. During the exclusive match preview in Patreon, I've already mentioned that Havertz is not an ideal player in the head-to-head matchups. Since Havertz has already played a couple of matches consecutively, he should be rested in today's match. However, he is still included in Lampard's starting 11. The speedy winger Odoi can't even make into the team squad today. If Odoi is not injured, then it is not reasonable. Then, you will clearly see Chelsea made the mistake PSG also made. PSG's mistake was putting their speedy winger Mbappé to play on the left, making Mbappé facing a speedy defender with sensational defensive skills in Wan-Bissaka and putting a slower attacking player in Di Maria on the right-hand side. The defender defending Di Maria is Shaw, which also has a lack of pace. Then under this even matchup, the advantage of wing plays is cancelled out. However, if Mbappé switched with Di Maria, then Mbappé versus Shaw will create a clear advantage for PSG, making PSG dominating in that side of the pitch. If Chelsea use Odoi and Pulisic as their wingers, Odoi's right-hand side will create an advantage for Chelsea. But Lampard's tactics repeated PSG mistakes, naming the speedy winger Pulisic in Wan-Bissaka's side and naming Havertz playing as the right-hand attacker, facing the slow defender Shaw. Therefore there is no advantage in any side of the field. Havertz's high-pressing speed today is lacking massively. And actually Chelsea has some quick breaks. However, every time the ball is played to Havertz's side, there will originally be enough space for him to create, but then quickly, the space is vanished. It is because Havertz is too slow and the opponent can catch up with him. In addition, if he is required to make a pass during his acceleration, his accuracy and ability to make passes will reduce massively. He really isn't that type of speedy players with quick reactions. There is even times when he wants to run but can't physically do it. That is why he is not built for counter-attacking football, hence he is not that player for head-to-head matchups. When I was doing Havertz's transfer video, I've already mentioned that he should not be starting in head-to-head matchups. There are some viewers in my show that commented, isn't it a huge waste to spend a lot of money in a player that cannot even participate in head-to-head matchups? I'd answered him, that's the only option I guess. He is the type of player that if you know how to use him, he will deliver and demonstrate his strength. For example, when Chelsea faces a dense defense, then he can deliver the deadly pass at the top of the box, but at the same time you do need to know you cannot play him in head-to-head matchups as there will be negative effects. If you have to use him in the head-to-head matchups, the negative effects of the huge money signing will start to appear. If Lampard uses Havertz in head-to-head matchups again, this huge money signing will actually hinder Chelsea. That's exactly how interesting football is. A player's value doesn't have much relationship with the importance of the match. Sometimes, players with a cheap value suits the head-to-head matchup more. For example, some physical players with high-speed players. Sadly, Lampard does not seem to understand this theory as he named the starting 11 according to the player's value. Using players with high value in important matches may cancel out their stamina advantage. The match Chelsea played at home versus Sevilla clearly showed that Lampard had saved up gunpowder for this match. Chelsea has been staying in the United Kingdom since their last match, but Manchester United actually used a lot of stamina in the away match versus PSG. Moreover, Manchester United actually used much more energy and stamina in the match against PSG. Chelsea should clearly be the side with a better stamina and a better physical condition. However, they've chosen a slow attacking player in Havertz to cancel out their own advantage. And surprisingly, Manchester United's pressing speed is slightly better than Chelsea's. Chelsea's biggest hope in scoring today actually relies on the referee in giving him a penalty, which was the incident at 39 minutes of the match. Chelsea has a set piece in their attacking third and the captain of Manchester United, Maguire, seems to have made a foul on Chelsea's captain Aspi. If there is a VAR check, there is indeed a possibility in awarding a penalty to Chelsea. However, Chelsea has to use methods other than their own tactics to win the match is quite disappointing. Therefore, Chelsea drawing today might be based on the fact that Manchester United was assigned into the same group with PSG, which made their fixtures exhausting. Manchester United did use a lot of stamina in the game with PSG. Also, the red card of Manchester United striker Martial and the lack of fitness level of their rising star Greenwood made these two players failing to make the starting 11. This leads to a decrease in Manchester United's quality. To be fair, there are times in today's match which Manchester United showed their improvements. For example, the throw-ins from Manchester United today has a higher accuracy than they usually have. However, the problem mentioned before, attacking players failing to make the starting 11, forces D. James, which doesn't have the level to play in this head-to-head matchup, to play in this game. Although he has some great pace, however, in today's match we can observe that he blindly pushes the ball into a bunch of defenders' place. When Mata is named in the starting 11, that hints that he will be in the central part of the field. This makes Manchester United one right-hand attacker short. Wan-Bissaka's timing for going up the field and assist is very average. In addition, he is a bit afraid in going up and assist the attack. His assisting level and passing are also average. That is why Manchester United's wing play is very average, which means that it is more difficult to break down Chelsea's dense defense. Manchester United's golden chance in the first half from Rashford occurs is just because when T. Silva aims to make the pass to change their team's defensive play into attacking play, the player who he intended to pass to unfortunately slipped. Chelsea isn't really lucky in this case, which lead to a Manchester United counter-attack chance. Marta's through ball was greatly affected by the rainfall during the match, which slowed down the pace of the ball, and Rashford cannot control the ball perfectly, which lead to a golden chance missed. In the other times of the match, Chelsea's defence did not make any mistake, and thus Manchester United does not have much chances created. Therefore, the half-time score is 0-0. The start of the second half was very similar to what happened to the first half. Now that is understandable, since no changes are made from both sides. Normally under these situations, the coaches will replace players from the same position instead of changing the entire formation. However, at the 57th minute, there was a coach that made a formational change, which changed the team's entire formation. In normal cases, this coach will not be Solskjaer. However, to our surprise, the coach that made this formational change is indeed Solskjaer. In normal days, Solskjaer's changes are terrible. But to our surprise, he actually made two decent and surprising changes. Solskjaer changed Manchester United's formation from 4-2-3-1 into 4-3-2-1. At first, I have no idea why he made this tactical change in Manchester United's formation. But when the match was about 70 minutes, Lampard used a more speedy player in Mount to replace Havertz. I suddenly understand what Solskjaer was making the formation change for. It was truly something special. Solskjaer must have observed that Havertz is not the player for this match, so he predicts that Lampard will sub him out very soon. When we take a look at Chelsea's bench, there are three attacking options, namely Mount, Ziyech and Abraham. Ziyech's fitness level is still poor, hence his chance to playing in this game is relatively low. As a result, Solskjaer can easily predict Mount or Abraham will be replacing Havertz. Both of these players are very speedy. This symbols that Chelsea will make a change to increase their attacking pace. If Manchester United continues to use 4-2-3-1, continue to ignore their problem of not enough defensive midfielders, or continue to ignore their imbalanced defense and attack, they will be very likely to concede goals from counter-attacks. That is why Solskjaer acted first by making a formational change into 4-3-1-2 before Lampard made any changes. 4-3-1-2 is a counter-attacking formation. It is more to the conservative side, but whenever there is needed to defend, more players can come back and help out the defensive work, or may even form a dense defensive line. Then this will make Chelsea benefit less from their high-speed counter-attacks, and thus not afraid in Lampard's speedy substitutes. I do not know if Solskjaer did this change on purpose or not. The Solskjaer in the past wouldn't be smart enough in making this change, but this time, Solskjaer's smart changes really impressed me, as it includes predictions and calculation. This change doesn't seem to be made from Solskjaer. In fact, it seems to be made by Sir Alex Ferguson. In the 82 minute, his change is more similar and comparable to Sir Alex Ferguson's. When Solskjaer saw Lampard used Ziyech, who has a lack of fitness level, to replace the quickest attacking player from Chelsea that was on the pitch in Pulisic. Chelsea's pace in counter-attack slows down. Solskjaer doesn't have to worry about Chelsea's counter-attack speed anymore. Then he changed his team's formation into 4-2-3-1. This makes Manchester United made their last attempt in the match to outplay Chelsea. Sir Alex Ferguson's changes have the characteristics of changing their own style of play based on their opponent's changes, or even made these adaptation changes before the opponent team even made the substitute. In addition, the substitutes are made and then timed to perfection. And in today's match, Solskjaer actually made a Ferguson-like change. In Solskjaer's last two head-to-head matchups, he actually did a great job in making substitutions. Maybe Solskjaer found Ferguson to give me a lesson in making changes during head-to-head matchups. Anyway, Manchester United indeed outplayed Chelsea in the latter stage of the game. There are two real chances to take all 3 points from this match. That is using the formation of 4-2-3-1, using the side attacking players, Greenwood staying on the wide right-hand side 1 versus 1 against the defender and sent in a great cross before the goal line. Chelsea survived just because of T. Silva's world-class defending, blocking Cavani's golden chance of scoring. And at the last few minutes of the game, Rashford's long shot. Manchester United's Marta also made a long shot in the first half. But unfortunately, both times, Chelsea's goalkeeper Mendy made 2 big saves. If today's goalkeeper is Kepa, who is weak in handling the long shots, Chelsea would have lost in this Manchester United away game. I made this claim also because Lampard's starting 11 and changes are not as good as Solskjaer's starting 11 and changes today. I can still find a think that Solskjaer did well today. That is, Pogba was benched 2 games in a row. Then you will find out Pogba actually performed better. The performance he delivered when he came on isn't the best, but there's no big problems or errors in it. This is because he was benched. Pogba's biggest problem is that when the opponent is filled with energy in the first half, he will have a slight delay in passing the ball at the back, which may lead to a gift to the opponent. Therefore, if Pogba is substituted into the game, his opponent's stamina will not be top fit and thus the pressing is not as offensive. Then, he would have more space to play the ball and then the risk of making such mistakes will reduce. Therefore, I would say Pogba has found his most suitable position now. That is sitting on the bench. That is his most useful position. It seems that Solskjaer has discovered Pogba's using guide. However, I have been watching football for a couple decades now and I haven't seen a substitute player that worth 120 million. It has to be the most expensive substitute ever on the planet. Once Manchester United release this most expensive substitute player, they will then be able to exchange a starting 11 player in Sancho. That is why people who criticize me attacking Pogba actually is them blindly supporting Pogba, which is more suited as a substitute player. That's the end of the clip today. If you like this video, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next clip.